Here's my top 10 worst COD zombies takes. These are opinions that I genuinely have. I promise I'm not capping. And I know it's going to bring a ton of heat into the comment section, but I don't even care. These are in no particular order because they're all just... they're just going to get slammed. What's the point? Number 1, Verrückt is an S tier map. All right, so I have to stress that I'm excluding the Black Ops 3 map from this equation because it just has no soul. It's not comparable. But Verrückt on World at War and Black Ops 1, oh my gosh, especially if you're rating it based on when it came out. Bro, these maps are incredible. First off, it's just simply a test of skill. There's no one strategy that's going to get you out of every situation in this map. You have to work hard as a team, or if you're in solo, just good luck, I guess. And getting to the high rounds in these maps actually feel like a genuine achievement. Not to mention, the atmosphere is second to none. The tone is still haunting to this day. It carries such a rich, spine-chilling tone that echoes through every feature and every corner of the map itself. Now, I'm sorry, when it comes to fun, you need a bit of a challenge, and this map absolutely freaking delivers on that. More to the point though, like I said, if you're rating this based on when it came out, think about the things that Verrückt did first. We're talking the power switch. Verrückt did first. The box moving teddy, traps, Perca-Colas, first original Easter egg song, character dialogue, being able to use equipment like bouncing betties, and just the general sense of community in this map was so fun back in the day. I remember playing public sessions in World at War and seeing all the players run and knife every window as fast as they could. It was just a nice little way of knowing that they were a real one. And look, I know that by saying Verrückt is S tier, saying that I prefer it over Mob of the Dead and 9 and maps like that is going to get me so slammed by this community. I really don't care, because in my opinion, fun and atmosphere is what makes zombies what it is, and it's meant to be a challenge, and Verrückt delivers, baby. Some of the best clutch videos you've ever seen in zombies were on Verrückt. Number 2, the World at War Pap Camo is still the best Pap Camo. Now, I know all of these opinions are going to get me slammed. I've said it 1,000 times already, but listen to me. This one, I actually think I can justify here. Every single Pack-a-Punch camo in Call of Duty Zombies history is a pattern that is slapped on guns. That's what it is. That's what they always have been, right? Except in World at War, the camo was mapped to each weapon specifically. It's the only Pap camo to have this feature. What this means is, even though it's the same pattern on the Pack-a-Punch camo, it's actually tailored to the weapon's features. It's not spread awkwardly in any place. Everything is crisp and perfectly complements the curves and corners of each and every freaking weapon. And that, in my opinion, automatically gives it one of the best stamps of approval ever because of the amount of effort that went into it. And secondly, the whole chrome engraved detailing is just sick anyway. I think having hyper pulsating galaxy camos are just kind of a bit of an L, I can't lie. The World at War Pap camo is goated and it's not up for debate, I'm sorry. Number 3, the Aether story was more engaging when it was cryptic. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I love Black Ops 3, okay? Everyone does, it was great. The freaking cutscenes and the Easter eggs and the Easter eggs themselves, I mean, shooting Dempsey down from the sky and Horizon and stuff like that, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, can't fault it. But the storyline itself, I cannot lie, I was way more invested when it was cryptic, tiny little puzzle pieces that the community had to band together to put together themselves. You remember like kind of seeing 115 scrawled on a box in Shinanuma, and then later finding out that outside of the map there's Tunguska, and you're talking about like landing sites for meteorites, which was already out of the map, and then you tried to piece together certain world events, tried to all correlate it to a meteor outside of the map and the element that was within it, and then the radios in Derice and trying to tell the tale of the Derice massacre and how everything went to crap over there, and then later finding out on the Black Ops 1 terminal on the PC when you got out of the chair that you could read up on so many things that happened at Derice and in other maps in Call of Duty Zombies. And just having these little documents, these bits of evidence, these radio entries, all that intriguing stuff, and having to work it out for yourself without it being painted in black and white made it way more engaging. I can't explain how, I can't explain why, but it just was. And I actually think they could have got more out of the Aether story if they just dialed back a little bit on making it more obvious to everyone. But it did span a long period of time, so I'm open to being held hostage on that one. Number 4, this is gonna be a good one. Black Ops 1 is better than Black Ops 2. Listen, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry to break your little hearts, all right? Black Ops 2 felt like a necessity. It was very important. It played an imperative role in the future of zombies and definitely paved the path for goated games like Black Ops 3 to exist, because Black Ops 2 was filled with experimentation. You know, you look at the verticality of Die Rise and the features that that map introduced, the Easter eggs of a map like Origins and Mob of the Dead, the unique gameplay mechanics brought to us by maps like Buried. Not all of it stuck, not all of it was good, but it was absolutely necessary to establish what worked and what didn't. And so I commend Black Ops 2 for its existence. It was important, right? But Black Ops 1 was just a way more smooth, consistent experience for zombie fans, in my opinion. And I felt like it just better carried the torch for the mode in general. You look at the roster of maps on Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and sure, maps like Origins you're going to want to keep coming back to. Mob of the Dead is a wide community favorite, but the others, they really are kind of not that great, let's be honest. Again, that's just my opinion anyway. I know there's a lot of people who love Buried. I'll get to that later. But then you look at Black Ops 1 and it just feels like a lot more consistent in how heavy hitting each map actually is. I mean, even 5, I love to death. I think it's one of the most underrated maps ever. It's such a good map. And I kind of compare it to having like an album from one of your favorite artists, right? If you've got an album where you don't really skip any of the tracks, which is what it is for Black Ops 1, in my opinion, with map searching, and you come to Black Ops 2 where you've got some banging songs, but those are like the only 2 songs you actually listen to from the album. The rest you just kind of brush past. That's Black Ops 2 for me. And if I could choose between 2 albums that function that way, I'm going to pick the one that delivers hit after hit. And even outside of the maps themselves, Black Ops 1 felt like somehow the graphics were better, the reflection quality was nicer, the audio design was better. Even when you reloaded guns in Black Ops 1, you could hear like the little clinks of, you know, magazines touching each other, or, you know, accidentally bumping the frag grenades on your vest or something like that. You could hear all those little details, and it was such a small thing that went such a long way in immersing us in the experience. And yeah, I could ramble on forever how much I love Black Ops 1, but I think it trumps Black Ops 2. Number 5, Black Ops 3's features ruined Zombie Chronicles. I stand by this, okay? I really do. And I feel like I at least have some people in the boat with me here. Now, the remasters found in Chronicles, some of them were absolutely exceptional on a map basis. Like if you compare Moon from Black Ops 1 to Moon in Black Ops 3, they did such a great job of Black Ops 3, particularly the biodome is just gorgeous. Like, I absolutely love it. But Chronicles is let down by a few things. First off, the Black Ops 3 weapons, which in my opinion do not fit any of the Chronicles maps whatsoever. Secondly, having AATs, having gobblegums and all of that kind of stuff made it way too easy on so many maps, especially maps that didn't previously have the Wonder Fizz that now do. I'm looking at you, Vavrukt and Noctua and Toten, and even Shina Numa for that matter. You've taken maps where their sole spirit was that they were bare bones, that they were short-term games and difficult endeavors, and now you can just pop a gobblegum, get a pack-a-punch weapon, pop it again and get an AAT and get all your perks on a map that didn't have it. I mean, yeah, you could argue it's a unique new approach to the gameplay features, but come on, man, like the soul left. The soul just completely left, and they butchered certain maps. Take, for example, I say it again, Vavrukt. What did they do to my boy? All of the dark presence and just ambience and just soul of the map in general was just sucked through a 2015 vacuum cleaner. It just wasn't, it just didn't make sense to me. And so I'm not really saying that Chronicles was a flop at all. I'm still grateful for it, and I think it's a brilliant DLC pack and consolidated Black Ops 3 as being the GOAT of the entire COD Zombies franchise. But had they just given it a little bit more time in the oven to bring back maybe some Black Ops 1 features, maybe dial back on the Black Ops 3 ones, I reckon it actually would have gone down better than it did. Again, these are meant to be hot takes, okay? You're not supposed to agree with me, okay? If you're shouting at your screen right now, it means I'm doing my job. But now we come on to number 6. Cold War's downfall was its lack of soul. I mean, I kind of touched on this with my last point, but Cold War Zombies, I don't think the thing that flopped was the perk system. I thought the perk system was actually pretty good. I like the idea that you can invest in leveling certain classes and character attributes. All of that was absolutely solid. I even think the gameplay was good. I thought the bosses were good. I thought the wonder weapon ideas were pretty fresh. I thought the maps weren't bad, but none of it had any soul. I can't quite explain it. Things like the detail that Treyarch's sound department used to put into these maps just didn't feel like it translated at all into Cold War. It felt far too much like multiplayer. And I know that was kind of the point in a sense, you know, what with the kill feed UI, you know, the use of operators instead of a main forecast. It was definitely their intent to make it more accessible for fans outside of the zombie fan base. It makes sense. Get more fans, right? But I feel like it definitely lost the very thing that made zombies great great to begin with. And that's that feeling of isolation, that feeling that there's no hope. You're in a living nightmare, and damn if you survive any longer than 2 hours. But all of that just kind of went. Pretty much most of the maps had a game-breaking strategy of some kind, which was just a test of patience more than skill. And I know there are other maps outside of Cold War that also follow that philosophy, but in Cold War it just felt so rampant, and there wasn't much to compensate or balance the fact that that was kind of its main identity. I really hope in Zombies in 2024 they really kind of, I dare say, take a sledgehammer approach to an extent. I gotta give credit where it's due. World War II Zombies definitely had tone and vibes and atmosphere, and it definitely told a story in a way outside of a literal cutscene. I would love for Treyarch to dial back into that kind of storytelling. Number 7. World at War's weapons are still the most satisfying weapons to use in Zombies. Now, this might come with a little hint of bias to World at War's gibbing system. In case you didn't know, if you got a shotgun and pumped that into the chest of a zombie, you would see its rib cage and everything. It was gruesome. I loved it. But even still, something about the weapons in World at War itself felt just perfect. They felt just right. And each weapon feels like it had its own character, its own reason to use it, at least at some point, or at least try it out. I feel like the use of creator class or weapon kits in Zombies kind of definitely played a role in killing off the feel of certain weapons, because back in the day, you used to put a weapon into the Pack-a-Punch machine and be curious as to what would come out the other side, whether the fire mode had changed, whether you got like a grenade launcher attachment or a really cool optic that you didn't think was going to be there, all kinds of stuff, whereas now you kind of choose that for yourself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But there are just certain things about the weapons in World at War that just hit different. The feel of pumping a trench gun. I haven't seen a shotgun since in COD that was as satisfying as that. The blast of a sawed-off double barrel, pumping straight into the chest of one of the zombies on Nocturne Totem. It just felt so damn good. The Thompson, a headshot machine. Everyone knew that that was the gun to get if you wanted to get points and headshots. And then you got weapons like the flamethrower, which is just, you don't really see that at all anymore. And a Browning that sure had the reload time of like, I don't know, the invasion of Poland. But man, when you were firing it, the beefiness, unmatched. Just unmatched. And then of course you got classics like the MG42 and PPSH. And even still, they did better with the meme guns. Talking to you, Springfield, the variety was just there. It was just the best. And even though we've had World War II Zombies since then, in the case of Vanguard and COD World War II, the weapons just didn't hit the same at all. I can't explain it, but I'm sure there's like a tiny group of people who just know what I'm talking about, and they think I'm spitting facts right now, so I love you. Number 8. Atmosphere is more important than Easter eggs. Okay, so I've touched on this with some of my other points in this video, but the maps that I find myself coming back to the most were the maps that made me feel a certain way when playing them. That is often achieved through sound design in conjunction with visual effects. If you actually take a look back at all of the Zombies maps you've ever played and then really think about how each map made you feel, you'll realize that your favorite maps are the ones that provokes the highest reaction, or at least you have the most memories of how you felt playing them. This is why I love Farouk. This is why I love maps like 5. This is why I love maps like Origins. I mean, the original soundtrack of Origins is absolutely incredible. Same with Blood of the Dead, even Mob of the Dead, even Call of the Dead, for example, another great one. The atmosphere is, at least for me, what brings me back to a Call of Duty Zombies map and what will make me keep wanting to play it. Having a good Easter egg just isn't good enough. And what I felt like was a problem with maps like the ones found in Cold War was that the Easter egg was kind of the priority, at least that's how it felt. And then the rest of the kind of atmosphere and tone of the map was more of an afterthought. Number 9, Buried is insanely overrated. Lex, I'm sorry, okay? I know you love this map deep down, but when you look at this map layout, sure, it's unique. Sure, it's fresh and cool, and there are certain weapons that are very interesting. Having a time bomb, that's kind of cool. Paralyzer, cool in concept, but then when you kind of couple all this stuff together, it's just a clusterfuck of just absolute shit. Then you got Arthur, or whatever his name is, looking goofy ass and freaking just giving him alcohol so he just charges into stuff. Like, what's going on? Like, what's actually going on here? Like, what is this? And you got like Witch Manor taking your money before you go to a maze, and you have to go through a maze and then get to Pack-a-Punch. It's like, what is this? Like, to me, I just felt like it was a boardroom meeting at Treyarch. They had a bunch of ideas. They had loads of ideas. They thought, let's put a maze, let's do this, let's do that. And one guy in the room just said, fuck it, let's just put all of these ideas in one map. It doesn't matter if it's cohesive or if it goes together at all. We're just gonna just do it. Just put it all in. Why not? And that's what Buried was, to me at least. And it did not play well. And even worse than that is that it doesn't even have the perk of being a challenging map, because it's not. If you look at high round runs and the methods by which you achieve them, it feels like a tower defense game. I don't even get it. I don't get it. I don't get why people love this so much. I will defend it by talking about the Remington New Model Army. Great pistol, great weapon, absolutely 10-10. Love you, buddy. But besides that, just no, I don't get it. Seriously, why do people fucking love this map? All right, and number 10. Modern Warfare Zombies would have slapped. And yes, I'm aware that Modern Warfare Zombies exists within Modern Warfare 3, but I'm specifically talking about Infinity Ward having stepped up to the plate to deliver a round-based experience. Now, I know every non-Treyarch Zombies rendition has come under heavy fire because they kind of just took an L. And true, that does happen, but it's annoying because the one obvious time where we should have had zombies would have been in 2019's Modern Warfare. I wouldn't even say Modern Warfare 2. Let's go with 2019's Modern Warfare. That would have been the perfect time for another developer to actually take another hit at zombies. Now, I'm not taking into account development time during this kind of debate here. I know they were working on Warzone. It would have been impractical to try and also make an entire zombies mode. I understand logistically, it doesn't really make any sense. But what I am saying is, when you think of a game like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, like you wouldn't really have wanted zombies in those games, at least in my opinion. You think about Modern Warfare and you just think, yeah, that would have actually slapped. If they actually were given a proper chance and they were allowed to use Treyarch assets and not try and fabricate some alternative B-Tech taste the difference juggernaut. So long as they could get the real stuff in, it would have actually gone hard. I remember there was an event in Warzone where you could actually shoot up zombies in the on the ship. I can't remember the name of it. I didn't play Warzone enough to remember the name of the ship. But you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And the zombies that they put into that felt really nice to kill. They felt great. And just with the Modern Warfare universe and the fact that zombies is actually canon to it as well, it would have just been a great time. And I mean, Treyarch's development of zombies in Modern Warfare 3 does feel really, really good. But I actually think Infinity Ward, with their new mature approach to the way they're tackling their games, in terms of like the setting, the vibe, the tone, the realism, especially with the weapons and animations, they really could have done something special if they were given the green light to hit up zombies. In my opinion, it would have been potentially one of the only times where we'd have an alternate non-Treyarch zombies mode that could have actually come close to Treyarch. Maybe even beat out some of Treyarch's recent stuff. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Those are my 10 worst COD Zombies takes, and those are all genuine takes of mine that I know is just going to provoke absolute carnage. But I hope you enjoyed this video nonetheless. I'm sure it's going to get more dislikes than likes, but hey, I hope you enjoyed watching either way. And I'll catch you guys in my next video and/or live stream. Much love, stay safe, cheers, see you soon.